workshop 1 on cooperation, knowledge transfer and innovation, where we were looking at the tools that are in place now to enable knowledge transfer and innovation to come to fruition within the RDPs, to look at those mechanisms, to identify how they can be used effectively, and what are the skill challenges that are existing. We had very lucky to benefit, in fact, from 4 different, very different and focused presentations. Firstly from Mike McKenzie of DG Agri, who gave us an overview of the fact really that all of the ingredients are in place now to enable these activities to happen. The ingredients are here. It's now a question of structuring them well and getting things done. Very much appreciated was also the presentation of Giancarlo Caglioli from the Emilia-Romagna, and what was very good about his presentation was reminded us that actually this is not all completely new. There were already some very innovative ways of working between using different measures and involving different actors, both producers, researchers, and that already that we have existing some good examples of the sort of things that we want to build much more on. Tanja Goris from the Slovenian RDP Managing Authority gave us a very detailed and very specific and very structured presentation on the Slovenian approach to having innovation at the centre of the RDP and how that is translating into the different measures. And finally, Karel van Bommel from the Netherlands, the Ministry of Economic Affairs, gave us a specific insight into how financial instruments can possibly help plug one of the problems in the whole innovation cycle, the getting things to market. I think overall the workshop worked very well, and it worked well because there were people contributing both who are talking on behalf of farmers, from the managing authorities, and from the organisations in Brussels as well. And it was all 3 of those perspectives came together. So in this very rapid fire resume, I'm not trying to distinguish between those different perspectives too much, rather just to run through, if you like, the innovation cycle and the topics that were discussed, things that progress has been made on, and things where there are still challenges in progress. First of all, regarding at the beginning of the process, innovation is all about ideas. Point was very well made that, of course, it remains a challenge to identify the real needs of farmers and agri and rural businesses. These are not always the stakeholders who are best articulated and linked into groups existing and so on and so forth. And this does remain an important point to be addressed. And I think very clearly came, in fact, from Finland, that the NRMs themselves, at the beginning of this process, do have a role already in Finland, and maybe can have a role elsewhere as well, in form of innovation camps, partner searches, and other aspects at the beginning of this process of generating ideas. Quite rightly, given the topic of today, a lot of time was spent on points related to successful implementation of the different measures. And so, again, without covering absolutely everything, this is very important. The devil's in the detail as ever, and so that the well thought through objectives and priorities need really to be translated into the detailed eligibility and selection criteria. And why is that so important? For example, as Mike McKenzie explained, that the aim and the intention of the cooperation measure is, to facilitate new things which wouldn't otherwise happen, and in new ways. How do you translate that to make sure that the programs don't support so-called dead weight? It's by working through the details of the eligibility and selection criteria. A recognition also, innovation by its very nature, we're not experts in it, and that the administrations themselves do not have all the required expertise. So involving this in the process, impartial and qualitative assessments is important as well. Again, important, very important, the common understanding between managing authorities and paying agencies. Now, on the one hand, everything has to be transparent and clear, that's right. On the other hand, given the topic of innovation and supporting activities for which the outcome is not certain, does need some qualitative assessment, and this is something where these different needs need to be matched. On the slide there, also of course necessary to make sure that there is a consistency with state aid rules. And I think what was also reminded by the Slovenians, but is very important indeed, is that what we're talking about in terms of the operations under the cooperation measure or elsewhere is that it's supporting the right method. It's then doing what was planned to be done. Things do have to be tested on the ground, referring back to the farmers and the final clients, the people who should be benefiting from this policy, and the results disseminated. We're not necessarily talking about measures of success is average yield increases by X or gross value added increases by Y. Moving on thinking a little bit more broadly in terms of successful innovation and sustainability, already in the planning it is important that dissemination is planned and assessed in cooperation measure projects right from the beginning, and indeed that there are other measures available in the RDPs which can help and be used and should be used to ensure the further sustainability, the further replication, pilot testing and so on of the ideas that are being generated. So it's not a one-hit operation. Reminded also from current experience that time is necessary. This is not something which will be a short process. Firstly, because of the nature of innovation, and secondly, because the RDPs are not standalone things here. RDP is one element of the EIP agriculture process, and that is something as well that structures are being put in place for, and it will take time. Very important identification as well about the role of financial instruments. I wouldn't say only, but particularly at the later stages in the process, the bringing things to market and financial instruments as a method of risk management, guarantee funds specifically. So there was a lot of detailed information about that, and some good possibilities, but also it is very specific and, I would say, as a non-financial specialist, work in progress. Some other very small further points, particularly some people, we come from big countries and we come from small countries, so transnational dimension is very important here. Not every country has the weight and the size to be able to be doing everything, and so transnational cooperation is very important, and particularly coming from the agriculture knowledge and innovation system dimension, recognition that research itself is not the only source of innovation, and even among researchers it's very important in engaging them to make sure that it's to do with the farmers, it's to do with the end result, it's not to do with publications. As befits, I think, an ENRD seminar, I started with innovation camps, which is something that the NRNs could do. Would like to finish with things that the NRNs could do. NRNs can, we felt, be important at the beginning of the process in terms of ideas generation. Also, they can be used according to how things work out in the structures and governments of each member state, in terms of maintaining databases, being more proactive in initiating and facilitating events, and in fact being quite key and important players in this translation process between research practitioners and farmers and agribusinesses. So, thank you very much.